So I'm going to attempt to make the video by myself because I just made this video me and Braden did and with these, and I guess somehow we accidentally pushed a button and it cut the microphones off. So after 15 minutes of us recording, we were watching it back, and 2 minutes in, our voices stop and you cannot hear anything. And he didn't want to do it again, so he left me. But anyways, also I have really bad dry eye, so I'm going to be blinking. Okay. The water here dries my skin out, and the weather has been back, forth, and all around. It's went through all the seasons this week. So I got dry eye. I did go to the store to get some yesterday from Target because we had to get some more essential things, and I forgot. So I ain't going to do that. I'm going to go get some. I don't know why I said I ain't going to do it. I don't know. Anyways, I'm going to go get some later. But, okay. So the things, like, that we were talking about in the video, hopefully I can hit the same ones. And I really hate that, like, he didn't get to be a part of it because he wanted to be, but now he doesn't. So that's perfectly okay. We respect that. So things that are different when I was a kid to now is TV. We were talking about TV because now you can watch TV on apps, you know, Netflix and Hulu and Disney Plus and stuff. And, like, you don't have to wait for your favorite shows to come on TV. When I was a kid, you used to have to watch it at certain times. You know, you had to wait until that time or wait till that show came on or whatever. But now if you want to watch it, you can watch it. You just pull it up and watch it. Commercials. I know that a few apps have commercials like YouTube and stuff, but for the most part, you don't have to, or you can skip it after so long. I know that I feel like the commercials when I was a kid took up 90% of the watch time of the shows. Like, you're sitting there mostly watching commercials and you're like getting 15 minutes of show. I do remember that. I remember Saturday morning cartoons, late night news. I remember certain channels you couldn't leave the TV on because it turned into a totally different type of show. Cartoons during the day, cartoons at night, but not cartoons you'd want your children to watch. So there's that. And then gathering places. He's not really made it to that age to where, like, he's meeting his friends out and stuff. But I know that, like, the most popular place when I was a kid, there was a skating ring, which isn't a thing anymore. I don't even know if there are many skating rings anymore in general. But there was a skating ring, and that's, like, where we would go. But it would play music that would educate you. You know, that's I didn't get to go very much. And then Walmart parking lot seemed to be, like, the coolest thing, especially, like, when you first got your license, you'd go, like, meet up with other newly licensed people and hang out in the parking lot. Lingo is one. Language, like, not knowing what my kid is even saying to me anymore, because we'll be talking and he'll be like, that's sus. That's sus. What is that? That's sus. What does that even mean? Because, like, I get, like, it's suspicious, but what's suspicious about me saying something about the spaghetti dinner we're having? I don't get it. Like, they use it casually, free-flowingly. Like, what does that mean? Like, having a conversation sometimes is like, what? The internet works so good now. In my area, it's still a little, you know, difficult and slow, and they're working on it. But for the most part, in most places, especially most places in the world, the internet is amazing. You can do anything you want. You can have your house phone and your internet at the same time. When I was a kid, you used to have to call everybody you know, like your loved ones or my grandparents and stuff, and be like, hey, we're going to be on the internet for a while if you can't reach us or whatever. You know, my dad would call his mom of a night and be like, hey, you know, I love you. I'll talk to you tomorrow. I'm going to go ahead and tell you goodnight now because we're going to turn on the internet or whatever. You know, it's like the dial-up's like, or whatever. And then it would take forever. And I used to get on there and play Barbie, like the Mattel Barbie and stuff. I love that. But it would take forever. You get like 4 minutes of play, 30 minutes of waiting. It was crazy. So yeah, that's come a long way. The internet has come a long way. Social media has came like an insane way. That's just crazy. I didn't even know what in half this stuff was when I was a kid. And that brings me to like the Switch and stuff. Like the Switch is kind of like what I would assume similar, like the one that comes apart. It's similar to the Wii. I feel like that's kind of the same way you play a Wii or whatever. And I had one of those like in my earlier or my later teen years. And I didn't have any play things like that. Like there's a PlayStation 5 now. There might even be a PlayStation 6 coming out. I'm not sure how that works. I don't know anything about gaming and stuff. Like we have PlayStation. When I was a kid, I remember getting the PlayStation 2. And it was crazy. I had it for years and years and years. I got a Game Boy, the little flip Game Boy, when the DS came out. That's when I finally got my Game Boy. So, like, stuff like that has really come a long, long way. And it's just crazy. We also talked about electric vehicles. When I was in high school, we had maybe heard of them, but we hadn't really ever seen one. And so this might really tell you how small of a town I live in, but they brought a Chevy Volt to our high school to like show us. And we were all amazed. It was like the coolest thing ever. Now you see them a lot, especially like I'm in the city right now. So I see them pretty often. My kids though, every time they see a Cybertruck, they remember in my other video, my Tennessee Aquarium video, my sister-in-law sees it and she's trying to tell us that I think at first she couldn't remember what it was called. And then she goes, it's a Cybertruck. And every time, without skipping a beat, when my kids see a Cybertruck, they say it just like that. That's a Cybertruck. So kids don't forget things, but it's truly crazy how things have changed. I feel like there's not a lot of like family oriented stuff anymore. I feel like it's, I mean, there is a lot, but it's not as close knit as it used to be. I feel like families don't really see each other or spend as much time together as they used to. I know that grandparent dynamic's not the same. It's not what it used to be. I used to live with my grandparents at different intervals, you know, and I would just always be there. My parents would like go out and do their own thing, and they could go and come, and I would just kind of go to this grandparent or that grandparent or whatever. And that's not how, you know, I have my kids 24/7. So it's just not the same as it used to be. And I know a lot of families have it that way, but I also know a lot of grandparents that are raising their grandkids. But it's just crazy to look back and think of all the things that have changed. There's so many people building houses where I live. It's like the country is the way to go. And there's a lot of people moving from other places. And across from me is like this big mountain. And it's got probably 7 houses on it now that you can see from my property. And there are so many cars back and forth on the road. It is like a back road, so, and a dead end road. So when I was a kid, I could ride bicycles back and forth. I could walk it, whatever. And now you can't, because like people fly back and forth through there. And there's so many people we don't know. But it's just crazy how the times have changed.